All right, good afternoon to you. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Remeisha Shade. I wanted to get on and update you on what's happening with our weather, and it is pretty crazy out there in spots. We've got some really heavy rain coming down, and we also have some flooding issues creeping up on us, some flood advisories that I want to talk about. And I'm going to help to navigate you through the worst of this. So I'm going to let you know what's going on, but I want you to keep in mind that if you're heading out to Bush Airport, expect some big delays. We've got delays basically increasing up to about an hour and a half for departures, and arrival delays I think are up to about 30 minutes. So certainly a lot of delays, a slow go out at Bush Airport, where we've had some bands of heavy rain move over, and there was a ground stop for a while. That was lifted, I believe, but we're still talking about quite a bit of heavy rain moving right over the Houston area. Let's start off with our flood advisory. We've got a flood advisory for northern portions of Harris County. This is until 3:30 p.m. This is north of the downtown Houston area. We did have a big batch of heavy rain move over this area. If we can switch over to Links 1, and I can zoom in and show you exactly where we do have that activity. We are going to be dealing with the potential for more of this heavy rain building in, so we're certainly going to have that potential for more flooding developing. But let's talk about what's going on. Here is a view of all of this rain that has been pushing from the south to the north. Even this morning, we had some of these heavier bands of rain rolling in. They started off down around the coast and basically started to push north and increase. And now we're talking about the threat for that flooding increasing. So I want to zoom in where we do have this flood advisory for northern sections of Harris County. And this is until 3:30 p.m. as I mentioned. Time right now is 2:37, so we still got a while before this comes to an end. The heaviest rain is pushed out, but we have very heavy rain that will be coming in from the south over the next 30 minutes to an hour, so it may end up getting extended. But this does include Bainbridge Estates up towards Northampton, Charterwood over towards Cypress Hills, the city of Cypress, and back towards Bush Intercontinental Airport and all the way down around Jersey Village. So if you're in any of those spots, the rain is coming down now, and also expect more heavy rain building in from the south over the next hour. Also, we still have a flood advisory off to the east of that one. This is also for northern portions of Harris County and a little section of southern Montgomery County, but this flood advisory goes all the way through 2:45 p.m. and it's not really for the rain that's falling out there now. It's for some really heavy rain that pushed across the area earlier, and the rain coming down now, not quite as heavy, but of course that's just going to aggravate the flooding issues that are increasing across the area. So here are some of the locations impacted by this flood advisory. We do have Humble in this flood advisory, and up towards Kingwood, Atascocita, and also the Dogwood Acres area, southern portions of the Dogwood Acres area, and down around Dyersdale. So if you are in any of those locations, you are under the risk for that street flooding increasing as we go through the next several minutes. So if you're about to head out the door, hop in the car, go run some errands, or maybe head to work for the afternoon or evening, just make sure you're careful. It's going to be difficult to see in some of those heavier showers, and of course there will be a higher risk for some street flooding across the area. I want to zoom back out and show you what we have been dealing with as far as our estimated rain from our Fox Red radar for the last 3 hours. And notice we've got some dark greens and some yellows popping up here. That is a lot of rain that has fallen in a short period of time. So let me zoom in and show you exactly how much our Fox Red radar is estimating. And you can see right where we have those two flood advisories, that's where we have that highest potential for the flooding, because we've had 1 to almost 3 inches of rain showing up in this area just over the last 3 hours. So we're getting estimates with our radar as we look inside of this storm and kind of see like what we've had. Around 2 to 2.5 inches over towards Tomball and Spring, down around Aldine, around 2 to 2.5 inches, and over towards Atascocita, right around 2 inches of rain showing up from the bands of showers and storms that have rolled through. And we still have some moderate rainfall coming down in many of these areas right now. Also down around Jersey Village, you've picked up likely around 1 to 1.5, close to 2 inches of rain as well. So certainly just keep in mind that things will likely get a little worse over the next hour or two before they start to improve. Let's hop down south. Now downtown Houston, things are looking a little better for you now, but we've got some really heavy rain coming down at this point. But as far as radar estimated rainfall, up to around a ½ inch, but that total will likely be going up as we go into the next hour to hour and a half with that band of heavy rain rolling over downtown Houston right now. But back towards Brookside Village and also down around Pearland, we've got between 2 to 3 inches of rain showing up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another flood advisory issued for that area, because that's quite a bit of rain that has fallen in just the last couple of hours. In between Bel Air and A-Leaf, Bunker Hill Village, Lamar Terrace, between 1 to 1.5 inches of rainfall for you over the last couple of hours. So that rain is definitely adding up. I always thought today would be the day where we would have the most widespread rain and the highest risk for any street flooding or other flooding issues out there. So this is panning out. It is verifying, so just make sure to be careful as these showers and storms are popping up, and I think we will get the worst of this over the next 2 to 3 hours. So let's see what's happening now across the Houston area, and I mentioned that we had another big area of heavy rain rolling through, and you can see that right over downtown Houston, that rain coming down Houston Heights, Bunker Hill Village, Bel Air, down towards Brookhaven, Almeda Plaza, and back towards Mission Bend, Meadows Place, Sugarland, all getting in on some of this heavier rain. You can see the red showing up, indicating that very heavy rainfall taking place. We've also got some lightning showing up, not a ton of lightning. The main threat with this will be the flood threat, but we do have about 5 lightning strikes showing up at this point. So you will want to stay indoors, just try to wait it out. You don't want to be outside in that lightning. You certainly don't want to be driving around when the rain is coming down this quickly, this hard, and producing that threat for flooding. So that is the heaviest rain right now. We also have some moderate to heavy showers down closer to the coast, not quite as heavy as that, but near the Bolivar Peninsula and also just to the north and west of Galveston, up towards Texas City and Dickinson and League City. Still some showers coming down there as well. Let's hop up to the north. I don't want to leave you out, and also to the west, and we'll see what's happening here. We do have at least the potential for additional showers and storms developing, but as far as the northern portions of the area, at least north of the coast, down around Baytown, you've got a heavier shower over you, and off to the north and east, not seeing a ton of rain up around Liberty, but back to the west, we've got some heavier showers here, and this is going to be over into the Brookshire area, just to the north of Katy, and we do have a little bit of rain showing up here. You can see some of those heavier bands of rain right up towards the Port Lavaca area, or excuse me, not Port Lavaca, but we've got the Belleville area, and we also have that rain coming down north, just to the north of Conroe, up towards Huntsville, and also into portions of San Jacinto County. So we will continue with at least the threat for more heavy rain coming down over the next couple of hours. These showers and storms are basically drifting off to the north, and they will continue to have the potential to increase that. We are going to have, though, 4 more showers and storms building in at least through the early evening, and that means that that flood threat will stick around. We're not in any big severe risk, basically just a general thunderstorm threat. The main severe risk remains to our north, but overall we do have that potential for a few of these storms to become strong, maybe produce some wind gusts around 40, 45, close to 50 miles per hour. Heavy rain, though, will be our biggest threat that could lead to some flooding. Notice the biggest severe risk stays well to our north, north of Dallas, up towards OKC, Denver, and also into portions of Wichita. So overall, our main threat, as I mentioned, will be that flash flood risk. And you can see the highest flash flood risk up towards Shreveport, but Houston, Galveston, Bryan, College Station included in that marginal threat for flash flooding. So that's what I've been telling you about the last couple of days, that we would have our higher threat for that street flooding going on for Thursday afternoon and evening, and that's exactly what we have. So basically, we are going to be dealing with, as we go through the afternoon and evening, the chance for rain highest at least through about 3 to 4 p.m., 70 to 80%, and then we're going to go down to a 50% shot by 5 p.m., down to 30% by 7, and then just isolated rain as we go into tonight between 9 and 11 p.m. But do keep in mind that those heavy downpours could lead to additional flooding through the early evening. You will want to avoid those flooded areas and find an alternate route because we do have the threat for that flooding increasing, especially right across Houston, downtown Houston, northern sections of Houston, and down around Pearland as well. Make sure as well to download our Fox 26 weather app so you can keep track of all the flood threat, any alerts that we have. Of course, we do have the 2 flood advisories, so all you have to do is download the app, search for it in the App Store, search for Fox 26, turn those alerts on, and you will be able to find any of those flood advisories or flood warnings. So I want to give you a view of the radar once again. This is the aerial flood advisory that we have through 3:30 p.m. still impacting northern Harris County. And I'm going to step off as well because I want to give you a live view of what's happening outside of our Fox 26 studio. So I'm going to switch to our camera, and you can see that it is a very slow go out there. You can see that traffic on one side of Southwest Freeway almost at a standstill, going very slow because we've got that heavy rain coming down. You can see the water being kicked up as those cars drive by on this particular side of the highway. So it is certainly going to be a bit messy across the Houston area, at least for the next hour or two, as these bands of heavier rain push over. And it's going to be a little difficult to see if you run into one of those heavy downpours, and it's going to be very slow. You know, it's usually pretty slow as you try to get around town already, but with the heavy rain coming down, it's going to be even slower. So just give yourself some extra time, and if you don't have to be out there over the next hour or two, definitely just try to wait it out and wait till these showers and storms move out. I think, as I said, as we get closer to the early evening and tonight, most of that heavy rain will start to push out. But for now, we do have that rain rolling right over portions of Houston, and it will continue to push in as we go into the next couple of hours. I'm actually going to switch back to our radar, and if you're just joining me, give you an overview of what we have going on with our flood advisories. I'm going to zoom in to Harris County. You can see that we still have a flood advisory for northern sections of Harris County, including Tomball, Spring, Aldine, and Cypress until 3:30. We also still have another flood advisory over into the Atascocita area, and I'm actually going to check with the National Weather Service and see if that one was extended, because that one was supposed to end around 2:45. So I'll check and see if they did extend that one or if they allowed that to expire. So right now it does not appear that there was an extension to that. So it looks like we do still have the 1 flood advisory until 3:30, and that's going to be for northern sections of Harris County. So you can see as I put this into motion, that flood advisory on the right that included the northern and northeastern sections of Harris County did go away. So we've gotten rid of 1 flood advisory that was supposed to expire at 2:45, but we still got the flood advisory over towards Aldine, Spring, and very close to the Woodlands, just south of the Woodlands, but it does include Spring, Aldine, and Tomball, and also Cypress, and that one continues until 3:30. Now I want to show you what's happening with this rainfall. You can see around Spring Valley, Jersey Village, crossing over Interstate 10 west of downtown Houston, very heavy rain pushing in from the south. So this is my concern. This band of very heavy rain pushing into Jersey Village, moving over Spring Valley, will likely continue tracking off to the north around 20 miles per hour. So it's going to roll right over parts of Cypress, Tomball, the Woodland, Spring, and these are areas that are already dealing with that higher threat for street flooding. So we could end up having more issues. Now the good news is that this is not expected to just sit over the area for a long period of time. It is moving, but it is going to create still some impacts with that flood threat. I'm going to turn the laps off, and so I can put a track on here for you to show you kind of where this band of rain is heading. So right now it's over Jersey Village, so we're going to put a track on this going north about 20 to 25 miles per hour, between 20 to 25 miles per hour. So we'll do that track. It should reach Charterwood in about 16 minutes, and then over the next 15 to 30 minutes, it is going to be moving over Tomball, Spring, and then eventually the Woodlands. And then if it holds together, it would make it up into Conroe. So this is what we're dealing with right now as I kind of give you a wider view of what's going on. We do still have the 1 flood advisory for northern Harris County. I'm actually going to show you how much lightning we've got in this. We've got 44 lightning strikes showing up with all of the action on the radar, but that does include activity over towards the Beaumont area as well. So not a ton of lightning with these cells moving through right now, but we do have that threat for the very heavy rainfall, and I do want to go back to our other product that shows you basically how much rain that we're dealing with in these areas. So this is where we do have the flood advisory. This is the flood advisory for northern sections of Harris County. This is up very close to the Bush Airport area, Spring, Aldine, Tomball, and just south of the Woodlands. And you can see our FoxRad radar just over the last 3 hours estimating between about 1 to 2.5 inches of rain falling over the last 3 hours. So this is what we are concerned about, that threat for more of this heavy rain building in as we go into the next hour or so. We do have more batches of rain that will be rolling over some of these same spots, and that will increase that flood threat as we go through the afternoon and evening. So we're talking about anywhere from 1.5 to almost 2.5 inches of rain already. If we get an additional inch to 1.5 inches of rain on top of that, which is very possible, that would mean an even higher flood threat. So if things got really bad, of course, the National Weather Service would issue a flash flood warning, but at this point it is a flood advisory, which is not as severe as a flash flood warning. Basically, a flood advisory is where there will be the potential for basically some street flooding, but we're not expecting the really severe life-threatening flooding that could totally wash your car away. That's not where we are just yet, but of course we will be monitoring things closely. But still, the street flooding can be dangerous. That can be an issue, so just make sure you're careful out there and watch out for any of that ponding of water on the roads. Notice south of Jersey Village, we've got another area right around I-10 where we see that rain really starting to increase and build. And so I'm going to take you down here. It looks like we've got the potential for maybe 2 close to 3 inches of rain building now. This is going to be down around Bunker Hill Village, Mission Bend, A-Leaf, Lamar Terrace, and just west of Bel Air. So this is going to be the area of concern where we could have some flooding problems creeping up. So certainly just be really careful as we go into the next couple of hours. I'm going to put a lapse on the radar so you can see kind of the movement of these showers and storms and kind of zoom out a little bit for you. You can see we've got a pretty big batch of rain between Katy and downtown Houston, north of Sugar Land, and just south and west of Cypress. We do have some heavy rain building, but it is all pushing north. So that's going to be moving through central and western portions of Harris County, up around Walker County and San Jacinto and Polk counties. We've got some batches of heavy rain impacting you. So we've got heavy rain building into Livingston right now. And we do still have that aerial flood advisory for northern parts of Harris County until 3:30. So that goes for about another 36, 37 minutes before that expires, and there's a chance it could get extended because we do have that next batch of heavy rain building in. All right, I'm going to check with the National Weather Service and see if there's any additional information coming out with these possible flooding issues, and at this point I don't see where they have indicated any major flooding reports, but I'm going to check again and see what we have going on. But just make sure if you're in any of those spots where there's very heavy rain coming down, just certainly be very careful and try to avoid any possible areas that are flooded. All right, so you can see the worst of that rainfall at this point still coming through central and western portions of Harris County, and then we've got, like I said, Polk County, San Jacinto County getting in on some very heavy rain as well, and then back towards Grimes County you're starting to see a lot of that heavy rain as well. So we had kind of a shift. We started off with the heavy rain down closer to the coast, and now we've got a lot of that heavy rain moving right around Interstate 10 and north. So this will be the trend as we go through the next couple of hours. I think we're going to see the worst of this coming through, and we will also have that potential for a little bit of flooding. So the good news is that I'm not seeing any additional flood advisories being issued. We still have the flood advisory for Harris County, northern Harris County until 3:30 p.m., but no additional flood advisories going on right now. So definitely stay aware, stay alert, make sure that you are careful as you're heading out. We've still got this batch of rain near Katy, downtown Houston, just west of downtown Houston, Sugar Land and the Woodlands. to get through. That will continue pushing north, as I mentioned, up towards Livingston. We've got some heavy rain there. Still some showers, some light to moderate showers in between League City and Galveston. But overall, we are going to have that threat for more of this heavy rain pushing across Houston and other portions of southeast Texas. So I think as we get closer to 7 to 8 p.m., things will start to improve. This heavy rain will start to go away, but for now, we're still dealing with that heavy rain. And before I go, I want to give you one more shot of what it looks like outside. We're going to go to our live Fox cam, and this is outside of the Fox 26 studios. You can see the rain is not quite as heavy as it was earlier. It seems like the traffic is picking up on that left side a little bit more, so things are picking up, but those roads are still very wet. The rain is lighter, but it is still coming down, so you will want to make sure to just be very careful if you have to head out at this point, because we still have quite a bit of rain that we're dealing with out there. All right, I want to give you a couple different views of what's going on in other portions of Houston. If I can get this pulled up, and I'm going to show you a couple of other camera shots that we have before I go. All right, here is another view. So you can see in this shot, we've definitely got the rain still coming down. We got the thick clouds, and it's just kind of a dreary day out there. Definitely an indoors, stay in the bed, relax until this heavy rain passes kind of day. This is good sleeping weather though. We've got a lot of clouds and the rain is definitely coming down. Also want to give you an update on the temperatures, because of course, you know, with all of this rain, we've got some rain cooled air out there. So check it out. Normally this time of the afternoon, we're talking about temperatures in the 90s or triple digits, but we've got widespread 70s showing up on this map. 80 degrees for you up around Conroe, 76 degrees out at Bush Airport, where normally we're in the 90s during this time of the day. Even down around Pearland, you're down to 78 degrees, Sugarland 77, Katy 79, Columbus still middle 80s where you haven't had as much rain, but where we've had that widespread heavier rainfall, we are sitting in the 70s. So once it passes, I would say get out there and enjoy the comfortable cooler temperatures, because you're not going to get 70s during the middle part of the afternoon very often in this part of the country at this time of the year, right in the middle of summer. So we're talking about a lot of comfortable air out there, but we've got the rain and a little bit of lightning to deal with. So otherwise it would be great jogging, great running weather. But once we get rid of the heavy downpours and the threat for flooding, you may want to get out there and enjoy some of these comfortable temperatures, because they are well below our normal high of around 93, 94 degrees when we've got 70s during the month of July. Enjoy it while you can. All right, let me give you another view of what's going on outside with our live Fox cam. And you can see it's kind of difficult to see. It's kind of cloudy, kind of foggy, kind of wet. And that's basically what we have going on. This view is a little bit better. We can see those raindrops on the camera. We've got the rain coming down. And once again, this is outside of our Fox 26 studios. Southwest Freeway traffic picking up a little bit more. Before it was kind of at a standstill on the left side, but definitely things are improving. All right, one more view of the radar before I go. You can see the showers and storms are building in. We've gotten rid of that flood advisory that was covering the Atascocita area, but still over towards Aldine, Spring, Tomball, Cypress, still we've gotten rid of the flood advisory rather over towards Atascocita, but the flood advisory continues for Tomball, Cypress, Spring, and Aldine until 3:30 p.m. So not a lot of lightning with this, but the flood advisory basically means that there is a potential for some street flooding in the area, increasing over the next 30 minutes or so. So keep that in mind. And with this next batch of heavy rain building in, there could be an extension of that flood advisory, so just make sure that you are careful if you are going to be heading out, because you don't want to end up in a situation where you are stuck in floodwaters. All right, let me check and see if there are any additional updates or reports on flooding, and I don't see that, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off and try to get prepared for our shows. But of course, if we do have any additional major weather happening, I'll try to hop back on and give you an update a little later. And of course, you can always tune in at 5 p.m. for our live newscasts, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Hopefully by 9 and 10, most of this will be gone. But of course, by 5 and 6, we will likely still have some action around, some rounds of heavy rain. So just make sure you're careful out there and keep in mind if you're up towards Spring, Aldine, Tomball, Cypress, we do still have that higher threat for street flooding. And if you're about to head out to Bush Airport, expect some delays. The last time I checked, delays were up to around 1.5 hours for those departures. So with all of the rain around, it's creating more comfortable and cooler conditions out there, but it's creating some problems out at the airport and problems just if you want to go and run some errands and do some other things locally. So just make sure you're prepared for the heavy rain. Things will improve over the next few days. I think this will be our worst weather day of the week, although we do need the rain, but it is causing problems. Tomorrow, spotty showers and storms during the afternoon, but by this weekend and next week, we're going to switch back to that pattern of tons of heat and very little rain. So stay safe out there. Once again, I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Remeisha Shade. I hope I was able to help you navigate through all of the active weather. Of course, we'll continue monitoring it, and I'll hop back on and give you more updates as needed. Have a great afternoon.